guys. Sorry it's so dark in here, but we've had a busy day. But we promised that we would come on Friday to tell you guys about how Adam was able to vote in the election because he is a felon. It's like less than 90 days out of jail and was still able to vote. And a lot of you guys were like, how? It doesn't make any sense. I thought if you had a record, you can't vote at all. How am I able to get my loved one to vote if and when they come home?
And that's a great question. To be perfectly honest, voting was not something that was even on my radar. Honestly, I hadn't even considered getting out, being able to vote. I automatically assumed that was one of those things that I'd have to focus on somewhere down the road, try and work on getting that right restored. And I wasn't even sure how to do that. But to be honest, despite some of the challenges that we've faced in getting identification and getting situated out here in Las Vegas, one of the unforeseen benefits of us going down to the DMV and going through that whole process, even though I didn't get my driver's license, and we were kind of disappointed about that, at the time when I put in to get my non-driving photo ID, state of Nevada automatically gives you a voter registration. So with that, I was put right on the rolls. All I had to do was give them my information. They asked me, I had a choice, who do you want to choose, a party or no party? Filled out this brief piece of paper, and they said, listen, as soon as you're done with that, just drop it right there in that box over on your way out the door, and you'll be registered. It was really that simple. Go ahead.
Is that a Nevada thing, or is that...
That's a Nevada thing.
Okay.
But remember, just like it's also a Nevada thing, that because I have priors, because this is not my first offense, that's also the reason that we had to go down and register at the police station, which that was a whole different ordeal, right? I had to register as a felon and have to notify them within 48 hours anytime we move. So that was the negative side. This was the positive side, getting my voting rights back. So I was pretty excited. I was excited to be able to go on Tuesday. I walked into the polling station. I think you guys saw the picture. Rose stood in line with me. When I went in there, it was a little, I guess it was a little nerve-wracking. It was a little confusing. I'd never voted before. Remember, I went to prison the first time right after I turned 18, and when I got out of state prison, I wasn't out that long. I don't even remember if there was an election, but to be honest, it wasn't even on my mind. So I was excited to go in there and vote. They escorted me over to, I guess you register on site. You have to give them your information. They check the rolls, see if you are who you say you are. And there was a little bit of difficulty there, because the electronic signature that they had me sign, it wasn't like a pen. It was like a round tip, device, whatever it was. So as I'm trying to sign my name, it's just coming out in little squiggles. And the woman asked me, she says, are you a doctor?
Hey.
I looked at her, I started laughing. I said, a doctor? I said, what makes you ask that? She said, well, doctors scribble like that. I said, no, I'm not a doctor. But she checked my info. And she said, okay, here you go. Gave me a card, and it looked like a debit card. It's all, electronic voting. So I go around to the voting booth, and I plug my card in. And I went through, and, man, I didn't realize there was going to be so many different choices. On a state level, it's not only the president being elected, but you have all these state vacancies and courts, regular court judges, appellate court judges. I mean, there was a ton of judges. That was probably the biggest thing that I noticed on there. So page after page, I'm going through this, and I'm getting a little, not frustrated, but I'm like, man, I don't even know who these people are. So now I feel kind of bad. I'm like, I'm voting for someone, and I'm not even sure. Like, I don't understand who some of these people are. So I skipped some of them. I said, if I don't understand, I'd rather not even vote for them. And when I got to the end, there were a number of questions on there as far as ratifications that they were going to make to the Nevada state laws. and these were going in front of the assembly, referendum questions. One of those was in order to get the state parole board to convene more frequently on a monthly basis to make sure that people were considered for commutations and parole on a regular basis. So I was grateful I took the time to read through all of that, and I got to vote for that to make sure that that's something obviously I feel very strongly about, to make sure that my vote was counted towards that. So I left feeling really good. Got to vote for the first time in my life. I voted for, something that I feel matters. It was a great experience.
I love it. And just to clarify, I saw a couple of questions where Adam did not have to go to the police station to register to vote. So let's just clarify that.
No.
He went to DMV to try to get his license. He got an ID card instead. There was issue with New Jersey. We talked about that on another video, his license in New Jersey, where he had it originally. But that's what registered him to vote. However, in Nevada, there's a law that when you have felonies, you have to register at the police station, much like I have to watch my wording on YouTube, but people with certain charges have to register now on a registry. Anybody with any charges in Nevada has to register.
Either Class A felonies or prior serious convictions, which my current offense, Class A felony all the way. My prior offenses in my youth, even regardless that they're over 20 years old, doesn't matter. Because of those prior serious offenses, they said I have to come in there and I have to register for however long I'm on supervised release.
As a felon.
Yep. So, and that's something it's unique in Nevada. I'm sure there are other states that do similar things. But, voting rights, I know are on a state-by-state basis. So there's definitely a push to nationalize that, to make sure that those rights are restored. Because, really, after you've served your time, isn't that enough?
Yeah. It's just another scarlet letter, basically.
It is.
But, hey, we'll comply. He's home. That's what matters. We'll deal with those little minor nuances. So if somebody is a felon, a state felon, let's start there, what do you suggest if they're interested in voting? How do they go about either figuring out if they can or getting those rights restored?
I'd say Google it.
Google it, okay.
Google it, but look for a state source. A .gov type site. Do that on a state level. As I said, the state laws are different. And, hey, this election changed certain laws. I saw Jess on her video this morning was talking about the decriminalization of a variety of harder drugs aside from marijuana. And we know a number of different states legalize recreational use of marijuana. So laws are constantly changing. One of the great things that I think has really evolved, and I want to say California was largely responsible for putting a lot of these initiatives on the ballot. So you're not entirely dependent on, members of Congress to go in there and legislate, because we know a lot of times left in their hands, things don't happen as quickly as they should. So if you can put certain initiatives on the ballot, actually let people vote for them, doesn't that make sense? Just makes more sense to me, right?
Yeah.
Let the people vote.
Yeah.
So hopefully we're starting to see some changes in that regard. Yeah.
So that's state. If somebody, just to reiterate, just so everybody knows, because I know that this question came up a lot because people's loved ones want to vote. So just to reiterate, if you have federal charges, what are your options?
Doesn't matter. I have federal charges.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
The point is, whatever state you reside in, wherever you are a resident of that state.
Google your state.
Google your state.
Okay.
Find out what the specific state laws are regarding your voting rights.
Got it.
Good?
Cool. Yeah,
right.
And I love that. Somebody said, I love that Adam is so into politics. And we were at lunch with, I can't even remember who, a couple weeks ago, and they were talking about, voting and people that aren't going to vote. And my response back was, if you're not going to vote, you have no right to complain about whatever it is that you're going to complain about, because you didn't use your voice to try to make a change. Sure. And that's not me coming down on anybody that didn't vote, but it fit in that situation. So that's kind of why we're so into it, because he's a voice. He has his rights. Use them.
That's right. I waited a long time, for this opportunity, and I'm definitely, I don't take any of it for granted. Every day, every opportunity that's presented to us, we're going to make sure that we're taking full advantage of all of them.
Yeah, I just laughed out loud because somebody wrote, she's like, and I only mean this 100% as a joke. She prefaced it. She said, but can you tell your state to hurry up and count? Like, let's go.
Oh, yeah. Well,
It's like a nail biter, I swear. We don't need to even go there because we're all on edge about it. But
there's something to be said about that. I mean, people talk about, well, it doesn't matter, I don't need to vote.
Yeah.
This right here is reminding, or should be reminding everyone, listen, man, your vote counts. Like, it's coming down to the wire.
If you want to say.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, there was a 1,500 vote separation earlier, I know, when we were checking out the news in one state, and listen, that's like incredibly close. Your vote matters.
Yeah.
So
I have to say this too. I have to shout somebody out. Melissa, I see you, girl. Your last comment, I saw something, but Melissa is like on fire. She flexes on all of the trolls and haters for us, and I love her, and so I just have to shout her out. She's on here. I just couldn't see everything in that last comment. So, and it sounds like something really important. What else do we want to add? Do you guys have any more questions about voting or us or anything before we got going? Can we tell them where we are and who we were just with?
I think we can. I think that's safe to say.
Yeah, she's right. We still haven't counted our military people overseas.
Yeah, and that could definitely swing this election.
Yeah.
So all the votes count.
Okay, so where are we?
Where are we? We are, we're in California.
At the beach.
At the beach.
I did not realize how much I missed humidity. Like, we got to Santa Monica. We're here for some business stuff. And I got out of the car. We've been living in dry Nevada for like 3 months now. And when we first got there, I was like, this is the greatest thing ever. I left like pea soup, New Jersey humidity. And every time I would try to work out, it was so hard to breathe, and it would like sit on you and you would feel sticky. So Nevada is so dry. I thought I loved it. Got out of the car in Santa Monica and was like, oh, the humidity, this is great. Except my hair grew this way. I was like, oh, I need to be by the beach.
It's definitely nice. It's nice to be this close to the shore, to, waited a lot of years to jump in the ocean. And did we show any of that yesterday? No?
No, but I'll share the video of Adam going in the ocean for the first time. Oh, I have to say this. I'll share that on Instagram, but I put my foot in my mouth, right? I don't know why we never made this video. I think we were on the train. So our friend was like, listen, you have to take the train to Santa Monica Pier. One of my biggest, what's the word? I can't say bucket list. He doesn't like the word bucket list because I didn't know this. Aspirations. I call it the second chance list now because I didn't know a bucket list meant before you kicked the bucket. I always thought a bucket list meant a bucket of stuff you want to do. And I was like, good try to silver lining it. No, like Dodo had no idea. Anyway, so I said it was on my bucket list, aka now known as the second chance list, to go to Santa Monica Pier to play on the rings because I'm such a freak fitness person, to go to Muscle Beach. We both are. And then what else was in Santa Monica that I forgot right now? I don't know, but there were 3 huge things. Oh, Gratitude Cafe Gratitude. Have been on my bucket list for years, but to do with Adam. So we get there, and I was like, we're on the pier, which was incredible, and we decided we're going to go down to Muscle Beach, and then the last thing we're going to do is walk in the sand and put our feet in the water at least. It was a little too cold to go in. So we get to Muscle Beach, and it's all closed because of COVID. And they don't even have, I probably would have tried to swing on the rings anyway and then like batted my eyelashes and played innocent, but they didn't even have the rings. They took the rings down. So that's okay. We'll be back. Maybe for like permanent eventually one day because the beach. But we're getting ready to leave, and we're going to the ocean, and we're taking off our shoes, and I put my toes in the sand, and I said to Adam, this is really, really good because I haven't been because it's all about me. I haven't been on the beach since 2019. And what did your face do?
2019.
I heard the record
So
scratch.
long?
Yeah, he was like, and all he had to do was go, and I was like, you win? You win? Do you want to go in the ocean? It's been a minute for you. But I've never lived more than an hour from the beach, so of course, I'm a beach girl, and it's all about me anyway. But talk about your first time in the ocean before we go. And then we'll say who we had dinner with, the man, the myth, the legend.
Yes.
And then we'll go.
So yesterday we had a chance to take a drive up Pacific Coast Highway. And where did we go? We went up to Malibu, supposedly secluded area along the beach. There was actually quite a few people there, surprisingly. A friend of ours, Lauren, took us up there. And, man, it was gorgeous.
I think I stole your friend, by the way.
I think you did. That's all right. She can be our friend.
Adam's friend from high school became like my BFF. He was just in the backseat quiet.
I was just along for the ride. Right up to the point where we saw this woman. She goes out, dives in, crashes under the wave, and I'm like, man, I made it all this way. I really wanted to go in. So we walked down the beach as we're coming back. I'm like, listen, we can't leave without going in. So I did. I took the dip, and despite the sand, I think I still have sand in my ears from that. That's, going under, but it was all worth it. Man, I waited a long time for that, and I'm glad we got it on video.
Yeah.
Got a record of it, so very cool.
Yeah, and somebody asked us, and I have to acknowledge it. They said, are you enjoying all the firsts? From the first time voting to the first time in the ocean, it is just incredible.
Everything. Can't lose
so
that
incredible.
appreciation.
So incredible.
Yeah.
So incredible. Okay, so today we spent the day with?
Well, this was another first. The man, the myth, the legend, Michael Santos. It's kind of ironic. I came behind Michael. Michael did 26 years. While I was in prison, I read his books. Roe had reached out, connected with them. I was able to speak with him a number of times. Always really impressed with what he was able to accomplish on the inside, and then when he got out, even more so. So Michael definitely paved the way. Gave me something to aspire to. Specifically, his accomplishments in prison really drove me to accomplish many of the things that I did. He set a very high standard, and since I've been home, we've had numerous opportunities to speak with him. Incredibly generous with his time, with his knowledge. And while we were out here in LA, we reached out and it just worked out. Michael made time in his schedule to bring us down here to meet up. And it was an incredible day. Very fortunate to have such a good friend, such a good man in our corner.
Yeah.
And we're looking forward to however we can support him in all his endeavors. We're behind him 100% and appreciate his support and everything we're doing.
Yeah, incredible. I will also post that picture on Instagram.
Yeah.
He also told the waitress that we were YouTube famous. Were you there, or were you in the bathroom when he did that?
He said you were YouTube famous. I'm just along for the ride. You are definitely both the beauty and the brains of this operation. So,
are you the brawn?
I'm just fortunate to be here. I'm strapped in. Believe me, strapped in tight. We're not going to talk about the driving. Strapped in tight for this wild ride with her.
We met somebody worse than me.
And
like way worse than me.
Anyways, loving every moment of it. So we appreciate you guys. We will definitely have to do another video again here soon as we get home.
What's up with the 82 people on and 17 thumbs up? Give us a thumbs up. We would love it. It just helps us out so much in YouTube. Just an easy way that you can show us some love and help us out.
That's right. Show us some love. Hit that like button. Bing, bing. I see it. There it goes.
See? She said, come on, you're both the souls of the channel.
Oh. All right. We appreciate you guys. We love you guys. Have a great night. Have a great weekend. And we'll see you again soon.
Bye, guys.